Hey, welcome back to the channel. I've been doing a video remake and comparison. Well, today is my remake, and the two movies I'm gonna talk about is The Fly. I forgot that I watched both these movies, and I remember liking both of them. And so, The Fly came out in 1958. I was not born yet. I was born in '59, the following year. So I was being conceived, I guess. I'm just kidding. But anyway, it's a horror sci-fi, and it's an hour and 34 minutes long. It has a Rotten Tomato score of 95. 87% people liked it. This had a budget of $495,000, and the box office was $3 million. Your leads in this movie were Al Henderson, Patricia Owens, and Vincent Price. Now, you guys know in previous videos how much I like Vincent Price. The director in this was Kirk Newman. But I remember loving this movie. And it was in color because it was 1958. So I did see that it wasn't in black and white. It was in color. If it was in black and white, then maybe I don't remember. Maybe by the time I did watch it, it was in color. But, I didn't watch this movie, obviously, you guys, until several years when I was maybe, I don't know, 7 or 8. Because you gotta understand, it came out in 1958. So apparently I watched it with my mom or some relative maybe. You know what I mean? But Vincent Price was on fire back then, man. God, he was on fire. And, he just, God, I just love Vincent Price. He had the voice, he had the look, he was tall. He was from St. Louis, Missouri. Believe it or not, that's where I'm from. I was born in St. Louis, Missouri. But, yeah. Now, the remake was The Fly that came out in 1986. Now, this is a horror sci-fi, and it was an hour and 36 minutes long. So weird, because The Fly in 1958 was an hour and 34 minutes. The Fly in 1986 was an hour and 36 minutes. Just 2 minutes difference. The budget for this was $9 million. And the box office was $60.6 million. So you had a Rotten Tomato score of 93. So both these had a really good tomato score, because the 1958 Fly had a 95% Rotten Tomato score, 87% people liked it. The Fly in 1986, he had 93 Rotten Tomato, which is 2% difference, and you had 85% like, which is another 2% difference. Ain't that crazy? Wow, crazy. Then the director was David Cronenberg or something like that. David Cronenberg. And the release date was August 15th for The Fly of 1986. That was the release date. Your leads in this was Jeff Goldblum. Y'all know who Jeff Goldblum is. Played in Jurassic Park movies and various other movies, obviously. But that's where you remember most of, Jeff Goldblum. He's a good actor. And Gina Davis, A League of Their Own. I love that movie. A League of Their Own. She was in that. The 1986 Fly, the Fly, the 1986 one, it won an Academy Award for Best Makeup and Hairdressing. Just thought I'd throw that in there. But, yeah, it had a budget of $9 million, and the box office was $60.6 million. So, obviously, they made the money back. You know how today's standards is, boy. They want you to make $250 million, man. Or they now everything's all about the billion. I just think, a lot of your movie industries today, they should just go back to the basics, man. Try to keep the budget down and try to make a quality movie and then go from there. I don't know. That's just me. But anyway, which one do I like the most? I'm going to be honest with you. I'm on the fence with this one. And the reason why I'm on the fence with this one is because I'm a big Vincent Price fan. But I did remember watching The Fly in 1986 a lot more. And I remember watching it a lot more because I had graduated in 1978. So that's when I had my own apartment. It's like today's kids, you can't hardly get them to move out from their parents' place. Me, I wanted to get my own place like right away. So, I watched a lot of The Fly. I remember watching it several times. But I remember going back and watching The Fly in 1958, and I can't remember when I did go back and watch The Fly in 1958. But I really did like it. You gotta understand, the reason why I think I like a lot of the older movies, because they had to really work hard to capture your imagination to make you feel like, they had to use what means they had to make it convincing. I guess that's the way I could say it. But I'm a huge Vincent Price fan, but I like Jeff Goldblum and I like Gina Davis because she was in that League of Their Own, which is I love that movie. But I have to, what gets me about this? This is basically about a guy, he was trying to figure out how to transport from one place to another. That's all this was all about. And, he looked like he was doing pretty well. I know he tried to do I think he tried to do a couple animals, and then by the time they went to the other pod, they was all disintegrated and stuff, and he kept trying. So then I think he did a rabbit or something, and one of them, it succeeded or something like that. So he decided to see if he could do, in both movies, he decided to see if he could do himself. So he put himself in one of those to see if he could go over into teleport over to the other pod. But when he shut the door, a fly went in. And when the fly went into the thing, their DNA got mixed up. And so when he teleported, over to the other pod, he teleported part of the fly DNA with his, and then it just messed him all up. So the movie went on from there. It was a good concept to me, though. Really good concept. Yeah, it was a really cool movie, man. Come think about it. Come think about it, I might have to put these movies back on my radar. On like a nice Sunday day, or movies like this and all the movies that I talk about, those are movies that you should be watching when it's wintertime. Because summertime is too much to do. It's nice outside. You want to go. Well, for me, I go bike riding, I walk, and I stay fit. I do a lot of stuff. So anyway, boom, there you go. So anyway, you got The Fly, 1958, and then you got The Fly, 1986. I love both of them, but I probably would like the older one a little bit more, even though I love the 1986 one because I remember watching it a lot. But I like that. I feel like it just takes me back when I was such a little boy and running around. You didn't have the internet back then. Your imagination was, you go outside and play. I still can see myself, when I watch stuff like that, I can still see me as a kid. And, we didn't have much because, obviously it was a little different back then. If you catch my drift, it's just, I ain't getting into it. But anyway, you don't have all this technology wrapped around you like you do today, basically. So there's a lot of people that's not here no more. And sometimes when I watch these older movies, it just takes me back to that time. And, when I used to get on the bus and go to school and just go outside and play and just, Anyway, you guys, God bless, take care, and we'll catch you next video. We'll see you.